Everybody, welcome to Stack Your Points. Thanks for watching and listening. And this is the Friday Q&A segment. So your questions, we answer them, sometimes up to an hour, sometimes it creates its own episode in and of itself. So if you have questions, always feel free to drop them on the YouTube channel or email us at stackyourpoints@gmail.com. But we hope you enjoy this week's Q&A session. Thanks for watching and listening. Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. As always, I'm Matt Clausen from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined by RJ from Do You Take Cards? RJ, how are you?
I am terrified and slightly nauseous, but otherwise I'm great.
Do you sage your fears? Let me tell you, I think tomorrow's going to go just fine. And also joined by Lonnie from the Call Me Lonnie channel. How are you today, Mr. Lonnie?
I'm doing all right. I'm in between trips, packing 2 different bags right now. And I also agree that no matter what, the sun's going to rise and set tomorrow. So RJ, you'll be fine.
It's the whole will it rise on Wednesday that we have to worry about. But again, I think tomorrow will be fine, just fine. So we do have Tariq sadly absent this week, but we look forward to him rejoining us next week. Just things have popped up. So don't worry. Tariq's here in spirit. We're going to move over to viewer questions, and we have a slew of them tonight. Our first question is going to come from Jason S. in the Stack Your Points Discord. Now, to ask questions, you can definitely ask us here in the comments of any of our YouTube videos. Feel free to do that. You can reach out to us at stackyourpoints@gmail.com. If you're listening to us on the podcatcher of your choice, greatly appreciated there. And the Stack Your Points Discord channel, we have created a Stack Your Points questions area within the Discord, as well as a further discussion on previous questions, just so that folks in the Discord can engage on previously asked questions, which is pretty awesome. Find me another podcast that does that. All right, so we're going to go to Jason's questions here, which is, if you were to enter a 6-month period of gardening and wanted to concentrate all your spending on one of 2 points ecosystems, Chase or Amex, which would you choose if your goal was not to piss off the bank you don't spend with? How much activity would you keep in the non-preferred bank? And this is coming from Jason in the Stack Your Points Discord. So, RJ, if you were to spend 6 months gardening, which of those two ecosystems would you choose? Now, for the non-preferred, I don't know if he means between Chase and Amex or if he means with other banks. Jason, let us know in the comments on this video, on the questions video. But we're going to interpret as we will. 6 months, Chase or Amex. Which would you choose, and how do you not piss off any other banks that you may have?
So probably to the surprise of no one, I would go with Amex, but I have a specific reason why I would go with Amex. Amex, the 3 most powerful cards in Amex lineup are charge cards. You do not have a limit with those cards. Those are dynamic to some degree, so what you spend through them, sort of on a rolling 3 to 6 months, depending on who you are, is what you can put on those cards. So if you cut way back and aren't using your platinum for anything, if you're not using your gold for anything, if you're not using your green for anything, they will cut down drastically in some cases what you can put through those cards. So if you have those cards and you care about what you can spend through them, you want to keep those cards active versus cards with a credit limit that, yes, as Matt found out, will slash your credit line dramatically at times, but it's A, more rare that they're completely slashing it, and B, they tend to have some warning, right? So just besides my love of member rewards points, with those charge cards, I want to be using those charge cards. They also have a grocery and dining category that makes sense. So that's helpful. Now, as far as what would I put through Chase, I would probably put somewhere between 10 and 20% of my spend. Like, I would put entertainment as far as like streaming services through Sapphire preferred. I would put some spend through the Freedom card. I have those two cards, so that's why they're getting the shout out. But I would put a little bit of spend through them, just enough to where there's constant, maybe once a week, just throw a coffee or something on the card just so they're getting use. But if you're gardening for 6 months, probably even if you completely stopped using those cards for 6 months, you're not going to get into too much trouble. Chances are, unless you went from spending 100,000 through those cards the prior 6 months to nothing at all. If you're, reasonably using those cards and then slow down for up to 6 months, chances are you're not going to get into too much trouble. You can sometimes, depending on your credit profile, but chances are you'll be okay.
Definitely makes sense. Thanks, RJ. Lonnie, if you were to enter a 6-month period of gardening and you wanted to concentrate between Chase and Amex, which do you choose? I think I know. And what would you do to not piss off the alternate bank? And we'll get into RJ mentioning a credit line slash later.
Yeah. So you do know I'm going to do the opposite of RJ, and I'm going to go with Chase for a multitude of reasons. One, because I just value Chase points more in my personal life and my plan A strategy. And they're easy to earn. I'll even go as far as easier to earn through all the different point stack methods that I'm familiar with and that I use on a daily basis. I can earn more Chase points, is what I'm saying. The other aspect is if I wanted those points to transfer out to my Plan A partners, like United or IHG, or if Tariq was here, someone like Hyatt, I can easily do that with those Chase points. So I don't have to in short, I won't have to change up my day to day at all, really, because I'll still have access to my Plan A strategy in a slightly unique way. Now, the let's not piss off the Amex. So I would still, obviously, in this scenario, I'm still keeping my Amex. I'm just trying not to upset them as a bank or issuer. RJ already touched on the charge card, and if you kill your spending, they're going to start killing your spending limits. But I don't put that much spend through mine. Talking about I'm not putting $10,000 a month or anything like that. Probably not. I'm sure I'm not even doing $5,000 a month through my Amex, either of the two cards, that is. But to not upset them, I would continue doing my grocery with my gold. That's easy. And it wouldn't change my habits from the Amex system. So they can't see what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis, but they're like, yeah, he goes to the grocery store once a week, once every other week. That would stay consistent. That would never change. So they wouldn't see a change there from the gold aspect. My platinum, and as we all know, I just dropped my platinum video, and what else do you actually swipe the card for other than the coupon book? So whenever a good deal comes through the coupon book, I would use it. Once again, staying consistent with how I use my platinum card. I mean, yeah, I'm one of the few that every so often, if I got to pay the taxes on an award flight, I usually it's almost like a coin flip or Dungeons and Dragons die. Like if it lands on odd, I'm going to use Chase. If it lands on even, I'm going to use Amex. And if it lands on a prime, I'm going to use my IHG card. like it's almost like that because it's taxes are only like $5. So in my case, 15, I'm usually buying 3 tickets. But that's how I would prefer not to, in this case, upset Amex.
No, it definitely makes sense. For me, I would also, between Chase and American Express, I do have cards in both ecosystems, but I would primarily focus on Chase. I set myself up where I have my partner as the authorized user on one of my AMEX cards, my Hilton Honors card. They do their primary spending on that card. They do their non-category spending on that card for 3 times Hilton points and everything. They'll also do dining and gas there. So I'm footing the bill for that. That is how I am taking care of American Express, not to be in their bad graces. But I would be focusing on Chase in that 6-month period. between my Sapphire Reserve and my ink cards, just so that, I am building ultimate reward points. Ultimate reward points can be Hyatt points, they can be JetBlue points, they can be United points. I don't have a set airline, so I can move things around as needed. JetBlue does get more love from me just because like I do get a 10% discount on my points. So if I'm going to move my chase, I value my chase points for things like Hyatt, for things like JetBlue. I can use them in other ways. Avios, United, however, I think would be best for me. But I can also cash those out at 1 cent per point. My current Amex points, whether it's through Hilton or through the Blue Business Plus, I'm not going to get the same 1 cent per point for myself. So I just want to make sure that I am in a position where, like, if I ever needed to do the OS, let me just take out some points, get some cash, have that cash available to me. I value UR points over membership reward points for that, just because I don't have the business platinum, I don't have the business checking account, I haven't set up those steps to get that 1 cent per point. And with Chase, I automatically have that, so I can always get 1 cent per point as needed if necessary. They're always they're always a ecosystem where I have that safety as a backup, or a backup to a backup. So for me, uh, focusing on Chase makes a lot of sense. I can avoid American Express nonsense just with, having my partner spend on her co-branded card, or spend it on the co-branded card, make sure that's taken care of. I also have the Blue Business Plus, and I can use that as needed for business expenses, or using the 12-month 0% APR period that I'm in, or other charges as needed. That's all going to get filtered probably to Hilton for the moment. But right now, just to not piss off Amex, if I'm not focusing my spend on Amex, I do have other ways to utilize my Amex cards that do not require me to put my spend on my Amex cards currently.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Sure.
At what point do you just say that you're a JetBlue guy? Like, I understand that you're a free agent, but at what point do you just say you're a JetBlue guy the way Lonnie's a United person, or the way I am a Delta person? Because you talk about JetBlue the way I talk about Delta and the way Lonnie talks about United. So can you just say you're a JetBlue person and we move on with our day, sir?
Possibly, when JetBlue starts flying to places that matter. Um, no, I'm more JetBlue than anything. Yes. I've been able to get to New Orleans. JetBlue, like, once they improve if they're ever able to get to a place where they can improve like their middle of the country offerings, and like their transatlantic offerings, I'll be more likely to
You
be
don't
that
have
JetBlue
a
person.
passport. You don't get to talk about transatlantic flights until you get a passport.
First of all, I did not say transatlantic. Second of all, my passport arrived over the weekend.
Breaking news.
I need
I'm
everyone
setting
to
up.
calm down right now.
Yes. I can finally schedule my JFK to Santo Domingo
There you
really
go.
easily now.
Good.
Um, for the one flight a day that I can get from JFK to Santo Domingo. Um, I am, yes, I am more a JetBlue person than I am like United or anything else. But yes, I have the passport now. Yes, I'm going to start the process for getting global entry and TSA pre-check. Um, that has arrived. I look like a demon in my photo. It is what it is. I'm not going to worry about it. But yes, like I've cast my lot with JetBlue. I am waiting for that JetBlue premium card. I'm waiting for the JetBlue lounges to open. Once the lounge opens, yes, I will pretty much be officially a JetBlue guy. But yeah, I'm gonna pick airline number 5 in the country because I'm weird. I'm a weirdo. What can I say? So that'll do it for Jason's question. Thank you, Jason. We'll move to our next question from Anthony. I'm assuming it's Anthony Bovey. Anthony asks if you have citizenship in 2+ places internationally, I'm assuming. Is it possible to get that other country's version of credit cards as well? American Express is one bank that comes to mind that has a few cool options. Much like if I had Canadian citizenship, I could get the American Express Cobalt card, which RJ agrees is one of the best non-American American Express cards. I think I'm not 100% sure, but we did mention this in the pre-show when we did the rundown. I think all you need is a establishment of residence and a mailing address in the country in question. If so, I would definitely go after non-US American Express cards. Some of them look really interesting. The Cobalt card explicitly. The British Platinum card doesn't look particularly interesting, but there you go. Uh, I wouldn't be looking for US based bank credit cards if I had citizenship in another country. RJ, how would you approach dual citizenship and potential second nation credit cards?
Yeah, so you wouldn't need citizenship. You would just need the residence mailing address. Sometimes they require like proof of income in the country that you're applying for. The problem is foreign transaction fees. So if you're based in the United States and you have a Canadian credit card with foreign transaction fees, guess what happens every time you use your card in the United States? You're charged a foreign transaction fee. So these are things that you have to think about if if you spend 4 or 5 months a year in Canada and part of the year in the US, you kind of have to have your Canadian credit cards and your American credit cards unless everything has no foreign transaction fees, and then you can use them. But then you also run the risk of those banks now saying, well, you're using the Canadian cards in the US. That's a problem because you've hit X amount of spend, so we don't like that and we're shutting you down. There are some different laws in Canada, but they still have quite a lot of power to do things. So definitely not like I can just go get a British platinum card and just use it wherever, whenever, and however. There are definite caveats there.
Completely fair. Lonnie, if you were to look at a foreign country for citizenship or looking into a second set of credit cards, where would it be, or how would you approach it?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of skin in this particular game because I don't have dual citizenship and never officially resided in another country. But I do have a very close friend that does. And so I'm going to use his real life example of, my relationship that I have with him. And so he actually has citizenship in Dubai and also in the US. So he used to actually live in Dubai. He still goes there, has family there, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he actually has some UAE Dubai credit cards. And of course, here in the US, he also has US credit cards. He's actually a huge friend of, obviously, he's a friend. He's a great friend of mine, huge advocate for my channel. Um, you know, shared and got so many people interested in, hitting that subscribe button for me, where he now follows me for American strategies and tactics around cards. And so I still have like literally like once a month we have a conversation on nothing but credit cards. So to go back to the actual question, first off, can you have credit cards from two different countries if you have dual citizenship? I know for a fact because of him. The answer is yes. Does that work in every single country? I don't know, but if you're in the UAE Dubai area in the US, yes, it does. At least for those two countries, I can say yes. Now, how would I approach it? Now, very similar to what RJ said, because we had this conversation about, yes, there are some like lower end cars that would have foreign transaction fees. And how do you approach that here in the US? He was like, man, this is a great car. This does everything for me. But I have to pay a foreign transaction fee if I use it. Like, how do we get around that type of stuff? Man, the short answer is PayPal. But I know Matt hates it when I bring it up, but there are ways around foreign transaction fees. We're not going to get into it today.
I don't hate PayPal. I just, don't necessarily like the sidestep that you have to do to get 5 times points on a card that offers it once every 3 months. That's all.
All I'm saying is we figured out a way.
No, and that's fair.
um, so I would actually approach it, go once again, create your plan. What is it that you're trying to achieve? Why would you even want to use an international credit card here in the US as, a daily driver in any sense? If there is something here in the US that you could get that gives you the exact same thing. Now, in most cases, as you had mentioned, Amex. Amex is in a lot of places, Chase is in a lot of places. There are banks all over the world. There's banks over there in Dubai that aren't over here as well. There's banks in Switzerland that aren't available in the US. But if you can actually, unless going through those particular banks with those particular cards is absolutely deal breaking, then make the switch and just use what's available to you in the place that you want. And this is one of the scenarios that we had looked at because, yes, he flies Etihad, he flies the UAE Airlines often, also United. It also is about to do a direct to the UAE as well, or the Abu Dhabi airport. I don't remember which one, but they're going to UAE starting in 2025 as a direct flight. You can switch those currencies over or put them into a rewards network that is here in the US, like an Amex or a Bilt that you can actually just transfer those points to your account that are in those airlines that are more suit you in those other countries. Once again, I'm just using Etihad as an example, but Bilt can transfer to Etihad. So he can just add them to his account, and no matter which country he's in, he can just book the flight with those points, if that makes sense. So that's the way I would approach it. I would just extend my main or my go-to strategy for that particular scenario so I can build a currency around it. And hopefully I could, end up doing something where I could just transfer those points to the hotel or the airlines or the whatever travel program that I wanted to, no matter which card from which country I'm using.
Also, the British Platinum gets 1 point per dollar on everything and 2 points per dollar at amextravel.co.uk. So somehow the Platinum card is even worse of an earner in the UK than it is in America.
Couple clicks on a VPN and I'll solve that problem real easy.
Totally fair on all counts. Now, if I had citizenship in 2+ countries, the only other country I could easily get citizenship to right now would be Ireland. I have not done any research on any Bank of Ireland cards or any American Express cards available in Ireland, so I can't say specifically that there would be cards that I would go after in these countries. In any country, foreign transaction fees are definitely going to be the first thing that I would be looking at. Like, I've been trying to research on the fly the American Express Cobalt card. I do not necessarily see any language about foreign transaction fees. Now, that is not to say that the Cobalt card does not have foreign transaction fees. It's just I have not seen what the foreign transaction fee on the Cobalt card would be. If either of my co-hosts know, please let me know. So, if I was to get citizenship in any other countries, are there is it possible to get those cards? Yes. Is there any reason for me to get those cards? No, not at the moment. I think for me, the only cards that I'd be really interested in would be like that Royal Dubai card, but I'd have to be a member of the Dubai royal family to get that card. That is the card that has no limits whatsoever. That is the card that just is like they will go out of their way to approve a ridiculous purchase for you. But again, you have to be a member of the Dubai royal family to get that card.
You're not part of the Dubai royal family?
Lottie, I need to say right now, look at me. Do I look like a member of the Dubai royal family?
That is not a fair question anymore in today's standards.
Totally
I think
fair,
we just
but I'd
have the
have to.
title for the episode, though.
do I would have to marry my way into the Dubai royal family. Um, there are people who'd be annoyed with that premise. I'll just go with. Um, the same would be true with the Coots card from the Coots Bank invitation only credit card that is only extended to members of the British royal family. I would have to find my way into the British royal family, and again, that would annoy people very close to me in my life currently. Let's do that. Um, no further comment on that one. But yes, I could, if I had citizenship to another country, could I explore credit cards in those countries? Yes, that would be great to use in the country if I was visiting there, or if I spent a portion of my years living in that country. I could certainly see a case for using that card while in country. At the moment, I would only be eligible for Irish citizenship. Now, if there were other countries that I could explore citizenship for because of things like, I don't know, Estonia's digital citizenship, that would be cool. But like, I haven't explored it, I haven't looked into it, I haven't researched anything. I don't know what foreign transaction fees would look like, and I don't want to rack up significant foreign transaction fees on day-to-day swipes here in the US. So if I had it, would I look into it? Yes. I don't currently have foreign citizenship. I don't currently have a foreign mailing address. So for me at the moment, yeah, it'd be really hard for me to enact this question physically at this time.
Cobalt's foreign transaction fee is 2.5%, by the way.
Given the conversion rate from Canadian dollars to US dollars, that's worse than US dollar foreign transaction fee. That's not great. Lonnie, it looked like you had something there. All right. That's fair. All right, so we'll go to our next question, which comes from friend of the pod, Keith S., who asks, if you could move overseas, then where would you move to? RJ, where would you move overseas if you were to move for any reason whatsoever? Say, let's say Wednesday morning, we wake up to the world ending.
Ireland or Scotland if they leave the UK.
Okay, that's fair.
Those are the
Lonnie,
options.
I get it. Lonnie, where would you go?
I'm not saying that the world's going to end on Wednesday, no matter one way or the other, Matt. I think we just need to accept Wednesday on Wednesday morning, no matter what it is, because that's the American thing to do, and not run away. I'm sticking put. But if I did move out of the country, to be completely honest, probably Italy, or France. And the reason I will only say France, one, because France hates America, and I'm just, I just want to be that guy every day across, the countryside. But out of all the languages that I know, French is probably my weakest, and that would be a very easy way for me to tighten that back up.
Totally fair. I'm not going to drop any French here. Yeah, for me, probably Sea Haven in Ireland really quickly, but I would be looking to other countries. Um, Estonian citizenship, again, you can get digital citizenship to Estonia. That'd be cool. You don't necessarily have to live in Estonia to be an Estonian citizen, so that would be nice. But if I could move overseas, Ireland's always fun. I would probably go Scandinavia just because Scandinavian democracy is really cool, and the Scandinavian social safety net is also really cool. And they appear to be somewhat welcoming of folks who don't necessarily know their language, although, Norwegian and Swedish are both Germanic languages. So if you know some German and you know English, picking it up wouldn't be the worst. Other places would probably be, I would probably first want to look at places that would have strong ties to English. So it'd be countries that have Germanic languages, Germany, the Netherlands, Belgium to a certain extent, although Flemish is weird. Um, I would try to be as practical as possible and, try to fit it in as quickly as possible. But that is just me. That is just the way that I think. But other countries could work as well. There's always Australia. Take a 24 to 48-hour flight to Australia and live life in Canberra or Sydney and go from there. Um, France would also be cool, but my French would have to improve very fast, very quickly. Mon français n'est pas très mal, mais mon français est très facile.
Que algo pelo fromage.
Je parle un peu de fromage, un peu d'allemand, un peu d'espagnol, mais français est mon
I
langue.
love RJ's face right now.
I speak English, profanity, and sarcasm. French is not on that list.
I
Je
speak
suis
in
très
metaphors
désolé.
and analogies as well.
Okay, beyond French, I can speak some German. I can speak a little bit of Spanish. Nah, my Spanish is not good in any way, shape, or form. Nor is my Portuguese, my Norwegian, or Swedish. But Duolingo is your friend, folks. I've also been studying Arabic. Why? Because I like alphabets that make no sense, as well as Ukrainian and Russian. There you go. More about me than I've ever mentioned on this podcast personally than ever before, and probably ever again. Let's move on to our next question here, which comes from friend of the show, Kit Kat, who asks, outside of YouTube and credit cards, what's one thing you're proud to have accomplished this year or looking forward to tackling next year? Lonnie, you're up for this question first.
So this is going to sound very random, and it's not 100% confirmed yet, but I attempted and was approved for Guinness World Record this year, and I am currently in review to figure out if it's official or not. And so I'm not going to say what it is because it's not yes, and it's currently not no, but I'm actually pretty excited that I was able to like hunker down, knock this thing out, do all the work to actually like get in contact with Guinness to run the application to look in my direction. And now I'm just waiting to find out if they're going to send me my plaque or not.
Most times kicked off mileage plus X.
And brought back.
That is not it, but I will, if it happens, actually, once I get an official answer, I will bring it to the community.
You heard it here first, Sack Your Points listeners. Lonnie will be in Ripley's Believe It or Not sooner than you may possibly think. RJ, any outside of YouTube and credit cards, what's one thing you're proud to have accomplished this year or you're looking forward to tackling next year?
That's hard. Getting my house nearly renovated, like dealing with the contractor, things like that. I got a promotion at work that took 3 years longer than it should have. And I sort of had to power through that one. But yeah, things are chugging along. There's not a giant neon sign. I'm not in a world record book, but sort of that incremental growth. That is always positive, right? Like sometimes you're not getting a sub, sometimes you're just getting that spend on your groceries every month that adds up to a nice size at the end.
Definitely makes sense. As for me, this year was great in terms of getting monetized. That was definitely an accomplishment, but that is inside of YouTube, so I can't really use that. Outside of YouTube and credit cards, in the next year, I'm looking forward to. Um, the one thing I definitely want to do is work on things like some certificates to make life at work a little bit easier or increase my value at work. Certifications for things like Power BI. I'm going to try to look into and try to accomplish. If not Power BI, then definitely looking into things like project management and things like that so that I can move a little bit forward in my career. Um, as well as getting back to life, to things that I was doing outside of YouTube and credit cards for the longest time. Writing about politics might be something that I'll be trying to accomplish in the next year as well. So we'll see how that goes. Um, yeah, our last question is a non-credit card question. I wanted to make sure that we added this one. This comes from a friend of the pod, Vincent, who is a member of the Sacred Points Discord. He asks, which ice cream flavor are you? And now he has not exactly given us criteria as to whether or not there is a particular ice cream flavor that is our favorite or a ice cream flavor that we identify as. So I don't know the best way to answer this. I'm going to take a crack at answering this one first. Which ice cream flavor are you? I will start with when I go to my partners and spend time with my partners, I will always go to the nearest Stewart's and pick up a pint of ice cream, at least a pint of ice cream for every night that I'm staying there, because I am who I am and built how I am, and a pint of ice cream just makes things a little bit easier. And it's Stewart's ice cream, and ice cream is amazing. Whenever you come to the U.S., whenever you come to New York, and you find yourself in the Hudson Valley and further north, go to a Stewart's, pick up at least a pint of ice cream. The ice cream that is the one that I will get if I am feeling particularly whatever is going to be a half gallon of the chocolate caramel tornado from Stewart's, which is fantastic. The other thing would be a pint of either Death by Chocolate or their what is the other one? Peanut butter pandemonium. So if I could define myself as an ice cream, it is peanut butter pandemonium or Death by Chocolate in a pint-sized version from Stewart's. Find your way to Stewart's. You will not be disappointed, and get their eggnog. And if you're feeling really adventurous, turn eggnog into ice cream. It's practically ice cream already. Lonnie, is there a particular ice cream flavor that would identify you, or is your favorite ice cream to go to your go-to ice cream? Vincent, please let us know in the comments how we were supposed to answer this question. I have been confused.
I love how much I just learned about Matt, but I think I love the Freudian slip that he just gave to all the listeners of when you come to the US. But
Womp womp.
yeah, no worries. You were passionate, man. I let it ride, man. You were in there. You were in there. But for me, um, I would have to say one of my favorite ice creams is a peanut butter cup. And Ben and Jerry's probably makes the most flavorful peanut butter cup ice cream out there. Now, I don't care what kind it is. It's just Ben and Jerry's is very flavorful, and they put like real like Reese, like not they're not Reese's, but they're peanut butter cups. But you know, like the little miniature ones, they're like whole chunks of them in there, and it just does it. I can't match Matt's enthusiasm, but it just does it. But if I had to identify, so I am a person that lives on the edge and I like things new. And obviously, as most of y'all know, I have a toddler that just turned 2, so we frequent ice cream spots quite regularly. Just took a cruise. He had 3 ice cream cones a day on that damn thing. He is a ice cream connoisseur now. But we went to this ice cream parlor, and I had no idea this existed. But it's this Cookie Monster. It's this bright blue Cookie Monster flavor ice cream that I assuming it's starting to make waves. The person at the ice cream parlor told me it was brand new. I'm usually blue averse because I'm allergic to blueberry, so I don't touch anything that's normally blue, but it's not blueberry flavored, it's just blue. But think of cookies and cream, the vanilla part, not the Oreo part. So you got that cream, ice cream. That's vanilla. It's just vanilla, but it's just blue, like Cookie Monster. And then you get like cookie dough, chocolate chip cookie dough, and cookie pieces mixed into it. I don't know why I love it so much, but put a couple of rainbow sprinkles on there and leave me the hell alone. It is slowly becoming one of my favorites where I wouldn't be surprised if you actually started seeing it like via Breyers in the ice cream aisle at the grocery store. I'm looking for it, but you know where I can find it at, Matt? I can get a good pint. DoorDash Market, three
Use
points
that
per
Chase
dollar
Sapphire.
and
use that
$10
Chase,
off.
use that Chase Sapphire Reserve credit or that DoorDash credit on your Chase credit card of choice, either quarterly or monthly. Get your $10 off. Get it delivered. 3 points per dollar. It is fantastic.
Yeah, so now I don't actually have to drive to the ice cream parlor anymore. That sucker just gets delivered to my front door.
There we go.
Holla.
Um, there we go. If your son ever learns about Cookie Puss or Fudgy the Whale, you'll probably be best off for it because those are abominable cakes from Carvel. Also, when you come, if you come to New York again, come to the Hudson Valley, check out Stewart's. You're gonna have to come to like the mid and upper Hudson Valley, but it is well worth the time. RJ, any ice cream that would define which ice cream flavor are you, or is your favorite ice cream? I may have stolen your thunder with Stewart's. I do not apologize in advance.
So I'm also going with Stewart's. I love that you think, as many downstaters do, you think that Stewart's is your thing, and I think that's adorable. Because the farms that actually give the milk for that delicious ice cream are more in my neck of the woods than in your neck of the woods. I would just like to point that out. Um, so
I,
just as a downstater would, you like to take the thing and say it's yours. It's okay. It's okay.
I didn't
Don't
say it
mess
was
with RJ tonight.
mine
She's coming in
necessarily.
hot.
I
Again,
RJ
am.
I
is
wasn't
coming in
saying it
hot.
was mine necessarily. It was
Uh-huh.
just, a
Uh-huh.
thing that you
No,
can
it's
get in the Mid Hudson Valley and above.
We
it's
all
okay.
need to de-escalate and take the stairs. Like straight up.
Um, so so the ice cream of choice, for me when I go to Stewart's, and that is where I get 95% of my ice cream, is espresso therapy. Because if there is an option for coffee, I will take that option. Really, the things that I drink the most are Coke Zero Sugar, coffee, and bourbon, and not in that order. But those are really the three options of what I'm drinking at any given point. Um, yeah, I love Stewart's. I actually know quite a few farmers that their milk goes to Stewart's, so there's always that local feeling of supporting farmers. And if you have farmers in your life or no farmers, support them because without them, we would not have the food, and the food is important. Bees and farmers, two things we cannot live without.
Very true. And again, I try to demarcate Mid Hudson Valley and further north because currently live in the lower Hudson Valley. I'm aware of the Stewart's demarcation. I am well south of it on my typical day to day, but I do spend a lot of time in that Mid Hudson Valley area. I spend a lot of time near the CIA, not Josh's CIA, but the CIA. All right. Well, good to know there. If you have any non credit card questions, please feel free to ask them in the various forums below, as I mentioned at the top of the questions hour.
Yeah, that was
Thank you so
fun.
much for questions. Absolutely. You know how to reach us via questions, and we look forward to further non credit card questions. We'll answer anything. So that'll do it for questions. Thanks everyone for asking. We'll move over to that's going to do it for our topics, and that's going to do it for this week's episode of Stack Your Points. If you like what we do, hit the like and subscribe button here on YouTube to continue our growth on YouTube. If you are listening to us on the Saturday show, the Saturday show is the full show on the podcatcher of your choice. Please give us a 5-star rating so that we can continue to grow that way. If you really like what we do, join our Discord server. That is the Stack Your Points Discord server. The link for that is always in the description for what we do. Quick programming note for this week. We're going to be publishing the first version of the show, which is our main topics of the show. That is going to come out on Thursday, not Wednesday. Give RJ some time to give us some editing on Wednesday. This week in particular, just because there's a big thing happening on Tuesday, and we're going to have feelings on that one way or another. That is the easiest way I can put things. Please go do your civic duty on November 5th. Again, that is all I'm going to say there. But this main topics is going to come out on Thursday. Then our questions, RJ, are those coming out on Friday as regularly scheduled?
Yes, those will come out as normal, and Monday basics will come out as normal.
Perfect. And the full show will come out on Saturday as normal as well. So just wanted to give that programming note. If you like what we do, hit the like and subscribe down below. If you want to leave us questions, as always, the comment section of the YouTube videos, as well as the Stack Your Points Discord, as well as the stackyourpoints@gmail.com. Lonnie, if we were to look for you on the internet, where is the best place to find you?
We had to put on the internet because that means I got to take my little like pithy pun out of it. But anyway, I was gonna say
you knew the pun.
You can find me flying over Manhattan in my Blade helicopter as I you know what? Keep the tally mark going, RJ, as I use my built platinum status gift. I will be getting my one free helicopter ride through Blade for being a platinum member, because I'm not hitting platinum in 2025, y'all, because they wouldn't kill the program. And also never did anything with the program.
Can you kill it if it's not alive?
Can you kill a jellyfish?
Yes. I don't know, actually.
Weird philosophical questions to end this.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's where that was fun. That was off track. But you can find me on YouTube at Call Me Lonnie, all one word. Lonnie is spelled Lani. And if I'm not there, hit me up in the Stack Your Points Discord. You can find me there.
You know, you make one built video, and the entire Stack Your Points episode just goes completely off the rails.
Yeah, you've only made one video about Bill ever, sir.
I didn't say ever. I just meant today. Anyway, RJ, where can we find you on the great expenses of the internet?
You can find me at Do You Take Cards on YouTube. You can also find me in the Stack Your Points Discord, telling people what to say in what server rooms, because that's apparently my job.
We all are moderators. I'm not the best moderator. I try my best. But hey, moderation is a good thing as opposed to some other credit card discords that you could join. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say there. You can find me, Matt Clausen, at the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, as well as the Stack Your Points Discord channel, and various places on the internet that if you know me, you'll find me. I'll put it that way. As always, thank you so much for watching. We will be back next week. Please drop us 5 stars on the podcatcher of your choice. Please like and subscribe on the YouTube, and join the Stack Your Points podcast Discord. We moderate it, and we look forward to continuing the conversation there. Thanks so much as always, and talk to you guys next week.